Roe versus Wade situation, you need to see the bigger picture is that you are the bearers of white supremacy. And the government's making damn sure that you stay that way. Don't get mad at us. We've been saying that something like this could happen. You see, right before Roe versus Wade was ruled, thousands of Native American women were sterilized by the government by force to prevent population increase, which has devastated us to this day. Black women after childbirth have a high mortality rate and sometimes sterilized without their consent, as well as immigrant women. This was never about us having babies and protecting the fetuses. It was making sure that you continue to do so.
Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, or Kakadash. Yahweh be the true name for the Father. Yahushai be the name for his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls God in Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles, a great millstone that taught us his truth and move well, and cite us to hopefully person his truth and honesty and sincerity. It's Brother Yahweh Sop, because you know that's the spirit power of Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai. I'll give you another update, end times and events. Lessons going through the spirit. What's going on right now is a lot of mass protests behind the overturned ruling of Wade versus Roe, which basically legalized abortion. And you got a lot of women, a lot of Edomite women, and you got some Israelite women too out there protesting, running pro-choice. And you have an Israelite woman here who's against the pro-choice and wants, the ruling to remain in effect and basically ban abortion. And the things that she said is straight true facts. So-called white women, Edomites, they've been the ones of white privilege, and they've been the ones to push, the whole abortion thing was pushed on the so-called Black, Latino, and Native American women. Especially initially that started out biggest with the Native women, so-called Native American, which are Gadites, Israelites of the Bible. And then the biggest target after that was the so-called Black women. A lot of women, Israelite women, are targeted when it comes to having children. That's when they feel a lot of the damaging threats when it comes to giving birth. Like she said, facts. There's an extremely high mortality rate amongst the Israelite women versus the Edomite women. Edomite women are very well taken care of for giving birth. Black women are the most in danger. And that's when they fuck with our children at that moment, and there's a lot of scriptures and laws in place where there's nothing saying that you're allowed to kill your babies, but there is biblical history of when we were forced to do so. The genocide was forced to happen, So going into it within history and the scriptures, it makes sense. Okay, so we're gonna pour some old facts as well to bring it out. All right, let's see here. First, what I'm going to do is bring out the founder of Planned Parenthood and bring out some quotes that she said about, the Israelite people, so-called Black, Latino, and Native American people, man. All right, here's some quotes here. It says, we do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. That's from Margaret Sanger, founder of Planned Parenthood. Okay, so this is the woman that, created this whole system to allow you so-called Black women to go there and get these, man. And this subject is touchy because, I came out to news that somebody I know, a close family member of mine, is basically making moves to do this very act. And she has no idea how damaging that's going to be spiritually to her, and you can't take back that type of murder, man. And this is, and clearly this is what it was created for, was to target us, man. Here's another quote from Margaret Sanger. Colored people are like human weeds and need to be exterminated. And then Hillary Clinton says, I admire Margaret Sanger enormously, her courage, her tenacity, her vision. So her vision of exterminating colored people, is it what you admire? These are the devils that you try to vote for in office. So be careful who you support. This is why you shouldn't be involved. Israelites should not be involved in politics at all. That whole voting stuff, man, You're not supposed to be voting to keep your oppressors over you and voting for all these devils, man. Because this is how they feel about you. We are targeted, man. And they could really give a damn about you. Another quote from Margaret Sanger says, slaves, Latin, and Hebrew immigrants are human weeds, a deadweight of human waste. Black soldiers and Jews are a menace to the race. So again, man, the target is you. So why would you want to go and do something to further that agenda? Okay, pro-choice is off. It's not up to you. It's up to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai whether or not that life is brought forth to exist. It's not your body. Your body actually belongs to the Lord. It's not your choice. It's the Lord's choice. The Lord causes that miracle to happen for a life to be created into your womb, because it really does take a miracle for that one seed to fertilize that egg. How many millions of seeds have to be destroyed before it makes it to that one time? And they've actually recorded the whole process, and you can see the flash that happens in the life that instantly the soul gets created once that sperm gets inside that embryo, man. There's a literal flash that takes place. So that is life. Okay? That is definitely life. And clearly Margaret Sanger's goal was to kill the Israelites, man. Another quote from Margaret Sanger. I accepted an invitation to talk to the women's branch of the Ku Klux Klan. This is the owner, the founder of Planned Parenthood we're talking about, man. So, as an Israelite woman, yes, you should be standing up against this shit just like that the Israelite woman was speaking in the video. That's the spirit you should be in, and you should be looking up your history to know these things. Okay, because a lot of the reasons for this is so people can continue a life of independency, pursuing education, all these selfish reasons. There's other reasons as well, but a lot of that is the catalyst where a lot of women are going to do these things, or maybe embarrassment of finding family members finding out about things like that. Hey, at the end of the day, you got to remember, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai ordained that life to come forward. It's not you. All right, so this is what we're gonna do is get some scriptures, man, that go into it. All right, also want to show some images here. Interesting. Here we have on the screen, you have child sacrifice, year 1515, and you have the picture of that Aztec pyramid. That's where child sacrifice and human sacrifice took place. And look at the architecture of the Planned Parenthood building. What a coincidence that it's identical. So that means you are not only are you doing something to go against the Israelite children and furthering that agenda, but you're committing demonic sacrifice by participating in that. So the best thing you can do is stay away from this Planned Parenthood stuff, man. Okay? Here's what is going on right now with the protests. Here's an image here. And it's nationwide, man. So we're gonna go forward here a little bit. And we're gonna bring the historical count of this type of stuff happening to Israelites. Exodus 1:15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Sipporah, and the name of the other Puah. And it says, and he said, when ye do the office of the midwife to the Hebrew women, and ye see upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. Why kill the son? Because the son contains the heritage. At that time, Pharaoh was terrified that the Israelites would overpopulate to the point to where they would overthrow the Egyptian empire. So he wanted all the men to be killed. And there's movies about this, and such as The Prince of Egypt, that show you that. And they were throwing the babies into the river to the alligators, man. It says, but the midwives feared Yahweh, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. So you have some women that stood up against that, man. And today, spiritually, you got some women that's marching and stand up against this whole pro-choice movement. Those are examples of the midwives that didn't listen to the king of Egypt. And the Lord blessed them. Okay? It says, and the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively. Right. The Israelite women are more beautiful than all the rest of them, man. It says, and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. The Egyptian women like the Israelite women, some of them. They're like, hey, look, we're not doing this, man. This is not right. So today, you got some standing up against it. It says, therefore, Yahweh dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared Yahweh, that he made them houses, so he blessed them. So does this mean that the Lord is with this pro-choice movement? No, because clearly he blessed those that were against that. Okay? And it says, verse 22, and Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. Right, because they want the Israelite women, of course, they're more lively, so they don't have a problem with the daughters being more, but they wanted to kill the boys off, man. So this is nothing new under the sun that they're doing right now. Same shit, different toilet, man. This is the book of Deuteronomy 28:56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which will not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. So this is a fulfillment of prophecy of wicked laws like this being passed, and you got the number one killer right now amongst all the things that cause of death is actually abortion. That's the number one cause of death in the United States. So that goes to show how far this demonic agenda has gone. And again, who was the target for this shit? Target is Israelites, man. And once you begin to learn about these things, it pisses you off. This is the book of Exodus 20:13. It says, thou shalt not kill. That is a life instantly that becomes created. And when you do your research in the process of what happens in that abortion, it's horrifying, man, of what happens to that fetus, what they call the fetus, and what should be called as a child. The process of what they do is they go in there with tweezers, and this one of the biggest processes that they do, and they actually rip apart the baby piece by piece, one piece at a time. So it's being tortured to death in the womb. So, and they're allowed, this stuff is allowed to go on past, almost in some states, 6 months of pregnancy. You know how developed that child is being at 6 months? You only got about 3 more months left for birth. And they're allowed to be killed like that, in that manner. That's murder, man. It's murder. And this is why you have a lot of things that go on like that, such as breast cancer. Okay, so the Lord's going to say, well, you didn't want to give life to this child, what I created your body to do, then I'm going to take away certain parts of your body. The Lord can do that. This is the book of Psalms 127, verse 3. It says, lo, and children are an heritage of Yahweh, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. So children are a blessing, not a curse. It says, happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with their enemies in the gate. So you're supposed to be happy. But there's also scriptures say don't have sons or daughters in this place because of the level of torture and the danger that's involved in having children in Babylon, Egypt. because society's getting worse and worse and worse. Look what's going on in these damn school systems, man. You know, but you're supposed to want desire children, and you're supposed to be happy to have them. But because this place is evil, this is the Satan's stomping grounds. You got all this stuff going on, man, at one time. This place is heavily demonic. If you could see the other side, you would just see crowds of demons walking up walls and stuff, hanging on to people's bodies, because this place is evil. This is Genesis 1:22. And Yahweh blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth." So this was a commandment, man. The Lord said, be fruitful and multiply. This is why Israelites, there's always so many of them. This is why the numbers increased so big in Egypt to the point Pharaoh started getting shook. Israelites, it's in their spirit to have lots of kids, man. That's what Israel's going to do. That's the blessing. You know, he told Abraham, you know, thy seed shall be more than the sands of the sea. You know how much grains of sand is in the sea? So you just do the math right there, how many kids are going to come through the nation of Israel. So this stuff that's going on right now, all these protests, all these people are going to be put to death that's marching for pro-choice. The Lord's not with that movement. It's murder. There's no other way to put it. You can let Esau try to convince you any otherwise that it's just a fetus, or it's not developed at a certain stage, it doesn't feel anything. They'll tell you all types of shit that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. If you see that flash of light, go look up that video of when pregnancy actually happens. When that sperm cell enters that egg, and there's a video on it, and they showed it, man. You could see that soul, that flash of light instantly being created. And you don't know the level of feeling that goes on within that. You know, so like I said, it's a touchy subject because I know someone that's going through this right now, and I don't know if she went through it with the decision, but it's crazy. It's a spirit, because now you got all this protesting going on with Wade versus Roe. I guess it overturned it. I guess that's what happened. So now you got all these protesters out there, and then you got other protesters out there going against them, saying no, it needs to stay in effect. You know, they needed to overturn it and get rid of it. And ultimately, man, this stuff is going to be a curse. The curse is going back on Esau's head, because you got a lot of Edomite women. They're the main ones out there wanting to keep the abortion. But yet, when you look up the dangers that's going on news articles, apparently, so-called white people are having a problem having kids. But yet, you got people out there marching. Esau, you're finished. You're on a downward spiral. You're losing your people. You're losing your population. You know, now all of a sudden you want to overturn it, right? What a coincidence. Now when you see your population is being threatened and you're becoming the minorities in the land that you stole, now you want to overturn the abortion law, right? Interesting how that works out. And with that, I'm going to close out and give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles, the great millstone, taught us truth and will well. And citation, hopefully, like pushing this truth and honesty and sincerity. Shalom.